Hey guys, so this is my tutorial on how to make a trifold wallet. So the supplies you'll need is first off an X-Acto knife where you can get at any craft store. Second supply that you'll need is a pair of scissors, preferably something sharp. It doesn't really matter what kind of brand it is. Third material you need is a ruler for measurements, and you also need a cutting mat or something to cut on. In my case it's the green thing, and you also need a roll of duct tape. So those are the supplies that you'll need for this video. So let's get started. The first thing you'll need is to cut out 8 strips of tape that are 9.5 inches long. So I have 8 here. The first thing you want to do is take your first one and flip it over so that it's sticky side up, just like this. Grab your second one, make sure it's sticky side down, and make sure you're going to stick them right on top of each other. Make sure you do it the best you can, because you want this wallet to look really nice, and smooth it out. So you have that. Now what you want to do is take your third strip of tape, just moving that aside. Take your third strip of tape and you're going to overlap it just a little bit over that piece. And it should be like around 3 3/4 inches. You're overlapping it by barely a margin or so. It's just I'd say like a millimeter, as you can see right there. You're gonna flip the whole thing over and take another one, sticky side down, and stick that down, and just keep repeating this process until you have all 8 strips on. So you're basically doing the same thing with your other 4 strips. And that's a little sticky thread there. And so I'm measuring it, so it should be like at least the whole sheet should be around 7.5 inches tall. Just a little less than that, not exact though. And then the last strip, just stick that on. Now what you want to do, I'm just folding it in half right here. Make sure you got that crease nicely folded. And now just cut each side of the sheet once it's folded, and make sure it's 9 inches long total, so you don't want to cut too much. And right here I'm marking where the 3-point and 6-point is, so you can fold this wallet into thirds. First folding out there to the mark, and the other side folding that to the mark I made, just like that. And make sure you smooth out the wallet and the crease. What I'm doing now is cutting a strip of tape the width of the wallet so you can attach the sides together. And then you want to cut that piece in half, just like this. Put half of it on one side, like I'm doing here. Just kind of fixing it real quick. Flip it over and fold the rest of the stickiness on the other back, just like that. Same thing on the other side. Take your second half, stick it on, fold it over, and smooth it out, just like this. Alright, so now what you created was a billfold to put your money in. And all you gotta do is just refold those creases that you just made, just like this, and do it both ways, like this. Now what you want to do, I usually do this just to have the creases nicer. Take a 5-inch strip and place it across the wallet so that the crease can get folded while you're making the pockets. Move it aside. Now what we're doing is making horizontal card pockets. The measurements for these are 3 3/4 inches long. And to make one card pocket, you need 2 pieces. For instance, in this case, I want 2 of those card pockets, so I'm making 4 strips of tape. And that's the last one right there. And now what you want to do is stick it just like this, leaving 1/4 of an inch of stickiness on the top. Using that stickiness, you fold it over down just like this. So now you should have stickiness on the other side as well. And you do that to the second strip as well. Just like this. And fold that stickiness down. Smooth it out. You have that stickiness. So now you should have 2 or however many more you want. Now I'm taking that piece of tape off, and you can see it's nicely creased. You have 3 sections on your trifold, so you can put it wherever you want. It's up to you. The stickiness should be facing outwards. Now the card pocket's a little long, so I'm going to trim it down a little bit. So take all your card pockets, and we're going to trim it to the length of the width of the wallet. And same thing on the other side. Just like this. Make sure you take a card and measure. Make sure it fits. First stick that down on thickness. Make sure the card fits. Make sure where you put your card it can fold nicely. So now I'm just moving it down a little bit because it doesn't really fit. Doing it again. And now it fits a lot better. Take your second piece. You do the same thing, except I'm just going to flip this over. Do it this method, it's just easier. Leave a little bit of the stickiness gap there so you can fold it up easily. Make sure the card fits the way you like it. And so that's how you make horizontal pockets. Now if you don't want to make horizontal pockets, you can make vertical pockets like I am doing here. Vertical pockets to make the cards go vertically, hence the name. And to make it, you need 3 pieces that are about 2 3/4 inches long. In my case, that's my measurements. You can do the same measurement if you want. So all you need is 3 strips, but I made 4 because the 4th one I'm using it for something else. So I'm just cutting that out, and the last piece, cutting that out as well. Now you're going to take the first one, take a second one, and you're going to cut 1 in half. And you want to place it, overlap it on a full strip. Make sure it's a little longer than the width of a card pocket. A card. And the measurement is 2.5 inches, the width. Take a full strip and take a half strip to cover the sticky side on the other side. Now you should have a little bit of sticky side left over from that. Trim it down just a little bit because you don't want to trim too much because you're cutting into the measurements. Now for the 4th one, what we do is we're making a nice brim on the card. We're going to cut it down a little bit and cut that in half. The maximum it can fit is 2 of these vertical card pockets on one side. So you're just placing it half on one side, flip it over, and fold the rest over, just like this. You should have 2, well in my case however many you want. I have 2. First stick the first one wherever you want it. Make sure it doesn't cover the bottom because you want to. Now we gotta seal out the bottom piece. So to seal out the bottom piece, you're gonna take a strip of tape that is the length of that and cut that in half. Use half of it on one side and flip it over, fold it on the other back of the wallet. So now your card should fit nicely. Take your second one, make sure you line it up on the bottom. Take the other half, put half of it on one side and fold it over on the other side. So now you should add 2, right like this, or however many you want. Now to get your ID, take any good plastic in your household, and we're going to center in the middle. And the measurement is 3 3/4 inches long by 2 1/4 inches in width. And take a strip, just the same measurement as the width, but just cut it forth. For the length, cut the exact measurement, and then just simply cut that in half. just like that. Take your 1/4 smaller piece and grab your ruler. Make sure you make a straight line, and you're basically sticking half of that on the plastic and half on the surface. So now you just have some stickiness left over. Flip it over and fold the rest of the stickiness. And if you need to, trim it off with your scissors. Now you should have a nice trim. And that's where the card will go. Take your other piece for the width, placing about 1/4 of it on. And then you're going to fold it over on the other side. So now it should have looked like that, where it can flip down. Now for these two halves, you're going to put them on the side, just half of it on the plastic and half of it on the wallet, just like this. And take your other piece and you do the same thing for the other side, just like this. So now your card should be able to fit in just like this, in this direction. Nice and clear. Now what you want to do is cut out a strip of tape the exact length of the wallet. And take that strip and you're going to cut 1/3 of it off, just like this. This will be to attach this side right here because it's a little flimsy, so we want to cover that up and attach the pockets. Now just pull your ID down, simply like this, and then take that, just cover it up, and then what you want to do is just cover about 2/3 of it and take the 1/3 and fold it into the billfold. So yeah, the smooth edge. So yeah, I'm smoothing it out now. Make sure it's nice and smooth. And then just pull up your ID back up and attach the sides again. Make sure it sticks. And now what you want to do is cut out a strip of tape, about 10 inches, just leaving, it's about 1/2 on each side, as you can see. It's about 1/2. Leave that much room. And you're going to make 3 strips the same length. Take your first strip, put it on top of the wallet. Make sure there's stickiness showing on the tops and the side, just like this, of the wallet. Take your second strip, lay it right down the middle of the outside of the wallet. And now you take your third strip and just place it on the bottom. Make sure the stickiness is hanging over, just like this, so that when you flip it over, you should pretty much have stickiness on all 4 sides. On the sides, you want to trim it so that there's about 1/4 of an inch stickiness still showing, and same thing on the other side. And on the bottom, I'm just cutting it a little because it's kind of long, so I want to trim it down to the same measurement, same length, 1/4 of an inch, just like this. And now you want to cut little squares in the corners, so fold it on all 4 sides, as you can see. And now I'm folding the bottom part up to seal up the card pockets and make it a smooth edge. Smooth it out. Fold the sides over to attach the pockets and the other side. Smooth it out. And for the last part, you're going to fold it into the billfold. Make sure you open the money pocket and fold that stickiness. And make sure it's all smoothed out. Now what I'm doing here is cutting the little slits on the card pockets so that your card will be able to fit. And so there you go, this is the final product, just making sure all the card pockets fit, just like this. The first pocket, that's the second pocket there. Putting it into the ID holder right there. And the 2 vertical pockets. Now just put all your stuff in there and enjoy your handmade wallet. Thanks for watching, guys. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.